urgent Lego news, specifically to the Bricklink designer program. I warn you, the comments section is going to get heated. So with that being said, get the popcorn ready, and I'm excited to either swipe the card or read all the comments on what your thoughts and opinions are on this. But today we're talking about the infamous Bricklink designer program. So much has changed here in the last 4 years since the reboot of this program, if I'm not mistaken, in 2021, where we saw the original five with 5,000 copies were made, and then sellouts happened so quick and it got up to 10,000. But now in modern day, we see 30,000 copies sell, and that is the quantity that is being produced, at least as of now. However, if you've logged on to the Bricklink designer program here recently, you'll see a statement. If I'm not mistaken, it's been on here for about 24 to 48 hours. But it says more Series 5 sets, ? You got it. And the statement says, the love for Series 5 has blown us away. We know it's tough when sets sell out before you can get your hands on them. So we teamed up with our manufacturing friends to make more sets available. My initial thoughts are, well, what do you mean? Like, I feel like a lot of the series have not sold out recently, at least not in a very short time. If anything, it's been, 12 hours plus or something like that. And I feel like that's adequate time if you really want something, but I'll save that for here in a little bit. This may not be the case for future series, so don't miss your chance to get in on the fun. So it looks like they're making it more accessible in quantity. So I have many mixed emotions on this. So first off, I'm going to say we saw the re-release of Bricklink Designer Program sets, which I think ended up turning out to be a good thing. It truly was just a canceled order / maybe a small extra percentage that was produced just to have, just in case we saw damaged sets or just stuff like that. So in my opinion, I think that was a success. The fact that they sold out extremely fast and you're able to get one, sure, I think it all worked out. Still, I think there's better ways of going about it, probably just not making it public and selling it off to, auctions, or there's many other ways, right? I'm not in charge of the team, so I don't know, and I don't know what goes behind the scenes, so I'm sure they did what they thought was best. But in my humble opinion, I just don't think a public way of doing this when I'm buying a limited set that I thought was 30,000 copies gets re-released because there's some extras. Personally, I'm not a fan of that. But hey, everybody's different. So anyways, more accessible to the public. You might be about it. I might not be. Personally, I love collectible items. So when something says there's one of 10,000, I expect it to be one of 10,000s, like the Stud City minifigures every single month. Those will never be produced extra, right? That would just not be the purpose. So with that being said, when we see new numbers going to increase, well, they don't say how many numbers. I think I read a statement by Jay from Jay's Blickblog, but that mentioned that they were going to reallocate numbers. So example would be if the Adventure in Transylvania, which most honestly is probably a super sought after set, sells out 30,000 copies within 10 minutes, right? Just throwing a hypothetical answer. And the Thieves of Tortuga has 0 copies sold for whatever reason. They might allocate 10,000 copies of the Thieves of Tortuga to more of the Adventure in Transylvania and fluctuate between these 5 sets. So that is apparently kind of what I read. I guess I don't know, I have a clear understanding, and I bet many don't, at least publicly. I'm sure privately they do. So again, I could probably have more information on this here in a future video, but for now, I just kind of want to take what's given to me and recycle it into information. You can go about this 2 ways. Personally, I'm a collector. I love collectible items. So things that are limited and limited quantity, I personally like. Even if I don't get one, I'm okay with that because I love collectible items. If you're able to get anything all the time, anywhere, it's not totally my interest. And that's just the collector I am. It might be different. We collect different things, and that's the whole purpose. So if the Bricklink designer program is truly going into a program that is, hey, we want more accessibility to everyone getting this, my question for the team is, why have a time constraint on this? Why not have this program run instead of allowing, the 30 days period for you to order these sets? Why not just make it fully accessible if that is truly the case? And I'm sure there's an answer to that, right? Like, we can't just leave this open. It is just a crowdfunded, whatever it may be. But the reason I loved Bricklink Designer Program, I'm speaking from a fan here that's been covering this since the very beginning. The reason I loved BDP so much is kind of the exclusive market that it kind of had, right? Like, I love the thought of not being able to get something. It was hype. I was able to own something from a piece of Lego that was limited, and that almost feels taken away here with a lot of the new implementations. And again, take that with what you will. My take on this is going to be different from yours, and I'm here to tell you that's okay. But from me personally, it definitely pulls back my interest in collecting all of the Series 5 Bricklink Designer Program sets. But again, don't let me steer you away from these. I think all 5 of these models are fantastic in their own way or forms. However, due to limited space, limited money, I probably won't be buying all of these, especially due to the fact that, well, the numbers could be increased from 30,000, which I already thought was a very high number to begin with, to who knows, right? And for me, that's just like another Lego set that's currently on the market. So with that being said, if we truly have more numbers, well, I'm going to sit here and argue from a Lego deals perspective that we should have cheaper prices on these sets, right? If this is less availability, like this is more availability, instead of, $350, this should be a $300 castle, or even less, $250. Let's make it even more accessible. So there is all these counter arguments that at least I come with, and I understand there's an answer to everything: production costs, marketing costs, sheer cost of Lego, new boxes, all that good stuff. But for me, as someone who's seeing more production items, which is more profit, right? Don't ever forget that, more profit. They're making more sense for more profit too. That is happening. Let's truly make these more accessible and bring down those costs. So a little frustrated in seeing this, but with that being said, I still love the Bricklink Designer Program. It's still not going to change. I'm going to cover this in future videos, and I'm ecstatic that I had the opportunity to review the antique shop, which I mentioned I was very happy that I got this set. I honestly thought this was one of the best priced BDP sets that we've seen, period, and it was truly amazing. And shout out to that one guy, Steve. This set kicked butt. However, since Lego did send me over a copy free, I probably won't be purchasing one because, well, I don't feel like I have the need, given the news that they're going to up productions to invest in this set. So at least on the investment side of things, or as some would say, you're a scalper. Personally, I don't think so. I definitely hold long term, but I probably won't be buying an additional copy. However, I am interested in some other sets, like even the Popcorn Wagon and Adventures in Transylvania. Probably the Mushroom Village, and I'll be honest, even the Knights of Ortega. Will I get one copy of each? Potentially, but yeah, if I can't build it, I probably won't be buying it. And for me, that's probably going to knock out, unfortunately, Thieves of Tortega, and quite honestly, maybe even the Mushroom Village, because I have the predecessor, but I was going to sell them as a bundle later on in the future, or let Georgiana build them. But aside from that, I do think the Adventure in Transylvania is a set I want to buy and build. So for that, it's a reason I'm still going to continue to pick it up. Regardless of my thoughts and opinions, I am floored to see what you guys have to say in the comments section below. It's honestly big news, and I'm really interested to see how you guys from the consumer and the collectible side of things have to say. I'm a collector myself, so I kind of gave you guys my thoughts and opinions. I'm excited to read yours. Aside from that, we will be live streaming this right here on this channel at the release here in 1 day and 14 hours. So if you haven't already, subscribe, turn on notification bell so you don't miss that on that live stream, as well as live streams in the future. Aside from that, we'll see you live, and get ready for Brick World for Chicago. See you in the next one. Peace out.